Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for October 2023. This is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Some of you, oh, my screen went dark already. What the heck? Some of you are intuitively guided, and I want to say thank you for paying attention to your intuition. You know, sometimes you're not sure if you have a sign in your chart, but you feel like something makes you want to click on that video. Just trust that your guides are guiding you to it. Um, you could have planets in the sign of Taurus. You may be in love with the Taurus. Whatever brought you, I say welcome. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into your reading, guys. We're going to use three different decks. We're going to use Mother Mary for our words of wisdom, which is an oracle deck. I've had a few people ask me that. It is an oracle deck. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify or to go deeper. And for your main spread, I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot, a deck that it's interesting. When I first bought this deck, I didn't love it. And I kind of put it to the side. And then one day it just really started calling to me. And that's kind of how I feel like when I do a reading. Like I shuffle a lot of my decks, and whatever decks I feel like are calling to me is what I use. So I started to use the Psychic Tarot more and more. And now I just love it. So we're going to use that in your reading. That will be your main spread. But let's go ahead and begin with Mother Mary and get our words of wisdom. What do we need to hear? What do we need to hear? By the way, I read it. I read the card from the book at the end of the reading because it's just where it's most profound. Just please trust me on that. For those of you who've been with me, you know that. I used to read it in the beginning, and now something made me move it to the end, and now I understand why. So let's go ahead and begin. Taurus. Wow. Cards have been flying out, but I have to say for yours, it's like asking me to have patience. Might be the name of the game. All right. We have prayer. Prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. Instead of worrying, which is hard not to do, but it is something we have to learn to do, I pray about this situation to bring about real clarity. It's like Mother Mary is praying over probably Jesus, but also you. Okay, we're going to put that to the side. I'm going to bring the lid down a little bit. And let's go ahead and begin with the Psychic Tarot. Again, pre-shuffled, but I do like to shuffle with you here. First of all, I feel like it just helps me pick up on you because these are intuitive readings, so I'm really trusting my guides, your guides. But I also like you to see me shuffle the cards, just so you have no doubt. No doubt. All right, let's give them a cut. And let's begin. Okay, well, that didn't take long. So we have movement, choices, decisions. Number two, makes me feel like right off the bat there's something you have to, well, I'm saying you have to make a decision about. Maybe you need to make a decision about. Maybe it's something you've been putting off. Movement. So making a decision and then making that movement. I like that the word choices is in there because I feel like it puts the ball in your court. Hmm. Okay. Discontentment and boredom. This is the Four of Cups. Um, so, right off the bat, I'm feeling some of you are unsatisfied for some things that are going on in your life. That might be why Mother Mary came out with prayer. This is like a little bit of unsatisfaction with my, let's just say, current situation or where I find myself. The Four of Cups, though, really speaks about using your spiritual discernment, especially because you have question right before it. So, do I stay in the same old, or do I be bold enough to make a decision, a movement? Let's see, 4 and a 2 equals 6, which a lot of times does mean movement. All right, we're going to take what's face up. We have awareness. Awareness, like your chakras being activated. And then look at this, we have the Seven of Pentacles, called patience and planning in this deck. You know, First of all, I love the Seven of Pentacles, even though it does call for patience, right? Um, and it makes sense, especially if you're trying to make a decision about something. I feel like your guides are definitely they're definitely going to help you with this decision. Nonetheless, I do feel like, because in this energy of discontentment, now this can talk about your whole life, it can talk about just a portion of your life. Um, but it does feel like, your guides are reaching you to help you make a final decision about something. The patience and planning, or the Seven of Pentacles, to me, normally you'll see like a tree that is full of pentacles, and I feel that's like your soul seed of intentions. And another way of putting that is those seeds, I feel like some of them were planted, you planted before you even came into this lifetime. Now, you're born with amnesia, you don't really remember that. But as these seeds start to, let's just say, come to fruition, there's something very familiar about them. When I think of a seed, I think of your garden. It's like you're really going to determine. And again, I feel like the ball's in your court because I feel like you're really going to determine when the seed does come to fruition, whether you're going to nurture that seed or whether you're just going to let it dry up and die. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like our guides can, like they try to help us as much as they can. And I feel like that's what awareness is about. Like, your guides are trying to help you make a decision, help you make movement out of this energy of discontentment and boredom. But ultimately, it is me who has to do something about that. The person in the Four of Cups in a lot of decks you'll see is being handed a cup, and it's coming from spirit, or many times I feel like it's coming from the hand of God. So it's an opportunity, it's a cup of fulfillment. But the person in the Four of Cups has to use their spiritual discernment whether they're going to accept that cup or not. So even though it says discontentment and boredom, I want you to understand how involved I feel like your spiritual team is. All right, let's keep going. If there's something that you're discontent with and you do want to make a change, but maybe you're a little worried about making that change, that could be where planning comes in, especially for you, Taurus, like putting a plan in place. And I don't know why I'm picking up for some of you. I feel like you're receiving dreams. And in those dreams, I feel like those dreams are meant to help you. Now, why would your guides try to reach you, or your angels? Remember that you're assigned Your soul is assigned spirit guides and angels to help you on this physical plane. You weren't just thrown down here. So sometimes it can feel like that, right? But that's because this person has their back to the world, has their back to what potentially could be a new opportunity. So again, I feel like, maybe as I'm sitting here in the Four of Cups type of energy, maybe I start to like receive because this person's receiving epiphanies. Maybe I take these epiphanies and I start to put, a plan in place. And I feel like that plan may help soothe that decision, if that makes sense. I was talking about like your spiritual team reaching you through your dreams, and I feel like the reason why they choose to do that sometimes is because maybe during my waking hours, I'm not really being connected, right? I'm not connecting. And that's kind of what the Four of Cups would tell me. Like, I'm not, like, I want to change. I want something new. Right. Maybe, it's funny because I just said to Sam the other day, I said, I feel like I need to like jump out of a plane. Or jump on a roller coaster. Like I need my adrenaline to, I just feel like I need adrenaline to start moving within me. Um, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. And then also the Seven of Pentacles, it's a seven. We're in a universal year seven. We have a one right next to that, which would equal an eight. We're getting closer and closer to 2024, which is going to be an eight personal year, or eight personal year, I'm sorry, an eight universal year. It means for all of us, right? We're all going through the energy. We'll all be going through the energy of the eight. Eight speaks about new beginnings, but it's also, the energy of infinity, as above, so below, no beginning, no end. So keep that in mind. I feel like there's a lot of things right now that maybe if we put them off, it's like now because I don't want to say running out of time, because you have a right to do what you want when you want. But again, if I'm not satisfied with where I'm at, I feel like this is an opportunity opening up for you. Maybe it's a prayer being answered. Let's keep going. Funny. We add these up, it's a seven next to a seven, which would be 14. Add 14, 4 and 1 would be a 5. Change. Wow. I like that. This is the Ace of Wands. So I do feel like some of you are receiving epiphanies. You're receiving help. But you do have to have let's just say a clear mind. Or, I feel like maybe you're wondering, like, I feel like I'm being guided, but I'm not really sure. Ask your guides to send sign again. Then if you still don't know, ask them to send it even bigger. Think of numbers like how you're going to see your signs. Some of your signs may be within this reading. I get a lot of signs just when I'm watching TV. It's like I do a reading and then I'll be watching a show like in the evening and it's like, oh my God, it sounds like my reading I just did. So I definitely pay attention. So first of all, this is inspiration, but then it's action. So it's like your inspiration is going to be sent, but then you want to put action into it. Passion. So why would I not want to accept this ace? Well, let's see. And I'm not even saying that you're not going to accept it. Um, but let's see what comes next to it. Taurus, I feel like, just from doing your readings, like in the last couple months, I feel like I don't feel like a lot of you felt like you were on stable ground, especially like the Four Cups. You think about that. Well, you're Earth, right? As I am Earth also. And being grounded is almost a necessity for me to, or for us to, I don't know, live our best life, I guess. To take a chance on different things. All right. Well, hello, lovers. Heart of Gemini. Meaning of this card is a head over heart decision. Um, but it's chemistry. It says harmony. These two people are, not just hand to hand, but eye to eye. So they get each other. Now, it's interesting because it's coming under the Four Cups, but it's coming next to the Ace of Wands. And then, hello, partnerships and alliances. Makes me feel like who's ever in the lovers, you're one of the people, but whoever else is in his lovers, like coming together. Now, doesn't even have to be love. Can be someone that you collaborate with. You know, again, it's interesting. I'm noticing this tattoo on his arm, and it's like a barcode. I'm trying to think, what would that mean? Like, what would that, why? Why a barcode? I don't know. Maybe our guides will answer that for me. Well, hello, accelerated motion. Huh. When I think about it, bring about. This is fast moving energy. Interesting because I just was talking about the seven being our universal year we're in right now. It's the year of the chariot, by the way. So that means this year, not only a very spiritual year, because seven to me is spiritual completeness, but if you think about the chariot, what does the chariot want? It wants balance, right? Because it's your intentions that are really controlling the horses of the chariot. You're telling them where to go, not through the reins, but through the mind. So anyways, seven universal year, and then now an eight universal year. Some of you, I feel like maybe you've had patience, and now, listen, this is about movement. And I love that it's mirrored over here by the Ace of Wands. So, inspired movement. She's looking right up at patience and planning, the Seven of Pentacles. She's looking right up at it. She's also looking at the star. Feels like the North Star. Makes me feel like a dream, like it's a wish. And maybe a wish is coming true sooner versus later. For some of you, it could certainly talk about, with the lovers here and then partnerships and alliances. Maybe it doesn't happen like in this year, but maybe it's going to happen in 2024. But as I say that, I feel like if that's the case, I feel like the initial meeting or the communication, however something may come together, I feel like it's going to take place soon, but then maybe the coming together begins in, 2024, but I feel like the beginning of 2024. So again, your guides are igniting that. I feel like it's your heart center and giving you the inspiration to make some bold changes. And listen, in the Four of Cups, it is you who has to make that change, right? I need to turn around. I need to start looking at the world again. I need to think about all the possibilities that lie out there for me. I may have been going through, and I felt this with you guys for a little while, like going through some. shaky type of ground, but I feel like this is bringing you back to the energy of being grounded. Um, but I also feel like psychically, a lot of you are really starting to open up. And you really are starting to trust your guides and hopefully following the signs. I feel like this Ace of Wands and this Eight of Wands is meant to change something in your life. And I don't feel like there's anything to be scared of here because, again, I feel like your guides are I want to say in control, you're in control. But I feel like they're going to be very clear with you. Well, speaking of guides, this is judgment. Here it's called truth. And I like that because I feel like it's saying, the first thing we need to do is be honest with ourselves. If I am unhappy within my life or a portion of my life, what can I do to make a change? Because again, it feels like the ball was in your court. I feel like some of you, you may be making physical moves, and that can mean like physically moving from your location, but it can also mean a job. It can also mean a relationship because you are making a decision here. And listen, the decision's being made because again, there is discontentment within your life, portion of your life. I want to make sure, for some of you, it can feel like your whole life. A judgment. What is judgment's main message? It's calling you to the present moment. Why? Because there's about to be a rebirth. Is that a guarantee? Well, no, because I have to accept it, right? Again, that Ace of Wands, inspiration, but then action. So I can't guarantee it, but I can guarantee if you say yes to this ace, whatever again it may be, sitting next to lovers, um, I feel like it's just going to move you in place. A rebirth. Be honest with yourself. Where you're unsatisfied, what changes can you make? Oh, all right. Well, that just knocked the four. Okay, we got a few here. It's like just tried to knock the Four of Cups off the board. And I'm totally okay with that. Let's get these back in order though. Choose wisely. Seven of Cups. Interesting because Seven of Cups can feel a little chaotic. It can also, I feel like in the Seven of Cups, number one, it's a seven. So again, I feel like it's bringing us back to this year. But I feel like, for some of us, what we may say in that energy is like, I've chosen cups before and I keep choosing the wrong one. Well, that could be free will. Remember that you have free will and your guides are trying to move you into a state of awareness, but also offering a rebirth. Again, I have to put the ball in your court. I do feel like there may be a little fear as it relates to choosing a cup. But nonetheless, I feel like you choose a cup anyway. Empress. Empress. Two threes, 33. Um, I have to tell you, I feel like how many readings have I done for October so far? I think seven. And I feel like in almost every reading, I've been getting 33. I'm going to have to look that up. I should have already looked it up. I may look it up before we're done. But anyways, I know for some carry a master number 33. And remember, if you carry a master number, you're here to master something. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like I'm talking about your life path number. Um, you should know that because that can give you a great amount of knowledge over what this lifetime is about for you. I feel like numerology has really opened me up so much more. So, know your master number. That is determined by your birthday. You can go on Google and just type in life path number calculator, and it'll walk you through it. Also, know your personal year. That changes every year. So, anyways, the Empress. Well, let's talk about the Empress. The Empress is someone who has really been through it all. I feel like she's got the wisdom of all the queens. Now, she's got the wisdom of all the queens because she's walked the walk of all the queens. The Empress learns or has learned through this journey. And by the way, I love that awareness is marrying her because this is someone who will take those seeds or take these aces, and she'll put them to use. Very creative soul. Um, a loving and nurturing soul. However, she's not someone where I feel like once you reach the Empress's status, and listen, it's in all of us. It's when I'm trusting universal energy. It's when I receive epiphanies and I know that they're from my guides. And listen, if my guides are trying to send me a message, especially for my creative house, it means that you have that skill. Maybe you don't feel like you have it. Well, I don't feel like you'd be given that sign if you didn't, but maybe you have to start at the beginning. Um, she's kind of angled here by the lovers. So let's keep going. Wow. Memories of love. Memories of love. Six of Cups. Six of Cups being mirrored by Judgment. First of all, I feel like for some of you, this is talking about spirit guides who were part of your life, this lifetime, who may have crossed over, who then become very active in helping you to live the best life you can. Now, that doesn't mean there's no challenges, there's no obstacles. But the more that we understand energy and the more that we use our wisdom of like, hey, I've been there, I've done that, the more we're able to like flow with the energy. Memories of Love speaks about a period of time of, really treasured type memories. And I feel like this is what your guides want you to focus on. Focus on the joy, for some of you where I felt like there was movement. I often feel in this energy, you can talk about like moving back to a place, can be my hometown, but it can also be just a place, some of you, I feel like, it's funny, all of a sudden I feel like there's some of you that are going back to school. And maybe you've been thinking about that. When I say back to school, it doesn't have to mean like I'm going back to get my whole degree. Maybe I'm just taking a class. Maybe I'm learning something new. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. I feel like this is not talking about like a sacrifice that, well, what I feel is that you've already made a sacrifice. And I feel for some of you, you're thinking, well, that didn't pay off. Well, but I have a feeling that, all good things come to those who wait. Now, I don't want you to wait any longer because, again, there's a lot of energy of movement. But I feel like this is talking about the wisdom that you've gained through your sacrifices. For some of you, you sacrificed your life for your family. And now this feels like a time for you. Doesn't mean I'm not going to focus on my family, but you're also going to put you in that equation. Look at that, 812. It's my son's birthday. I see that all the time, and I point that out because, first of all, I feel like I'm meant to, because he's crossed over, and I know he's my major guide right now. Matter of fact, that guitar that's over in the corner magically showed up. And if you don't know the story, go back and watch Leo's reading. Watch just the beginning. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but watch at the beginning, the one for October, because it was quite magical how this guitar landed with me. But anyway, so that's his birthday. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Heartache and loss. Now, the good news is it's on the bottom of the deck. So to me, that feels like it's an energy that wants to end. Now, easier said than done, right? So somewhere along the way, I received these daggers in my heart. Some of us have lost people. Some of us have breakups. Some of us could have lost jobs. It can be many different things. But still, it's at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to look right under that. The universe, emotional loss. Okay. Feel like you're making a decision. Do I want to stay in that type of energy? And, I know a lot of people say, well, it's not really a decision that I can choose, right? Like heartache is heartache. Well, but there are things that you can do. There are things that you can do to help soothe that heart. And I feel like some of them are getting lost within your creative house. Maybe this is talking about like some of you taking like a painting class. You're learning how to paint. You've always wanted to, or maybe you already have that skill. Some of you, I feel like it can be many, many different things. And again, I feel like you have made a sacrifice. But this is now about what wants to open up in your world with judgment here. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's go deeper. Deeper if we dare. And I dare. One more shuffle. So weird how this new computer I have, which thanks to you, many of you, I was able to get it. How you can't hear the card shuffling. And I find that interesting. Like you can hear my voice, but you can't hear the cards shuffling. Now, I know some like that, but to me, it's like the sound of the card shuffling is like very meditative. I feel like I want to take that, and I want to take that. Three of Pentacles. So this can talk about your creative house. Some of you, that's what you're making a decision on. You may be taking, changing jobs, adding something new into something you already do. Three of Pentacles wants to remind you of your uniqueness to the world. Doing something that is unique to you. Doesn't matter if a million other people do it. No one's going to do it like you. This also a reminder that you're the missing piece of the puzzle. It's almost like someone's like, well, where's Taurus at? Where's Taurus at? Now, this is also the energy of other people taking notice of you, even if you don't know that they're taking notice of you. Coming over movement, choices, and decisions. There's the Empress again, right over the Four of Cups. Hello. I feel like this is definitely calling for you to find that Empress energy within yourself, male or female, by the way. Doesn't matter. This just means that, One of the lessons I learned as the Empress is not to shut down my heart, even though I've had heartache, right? I don't want to shut that part of myself down. Maybe that is like the biggest part of me, right? Like I like being loving. I like being nurturing. This is also the energy of someone who's very creative. But again, this is someone who receives epiphanies. Coming over the Four of Cups, I feel like, again, I feel like I have to keep putting the ball back in your court. Like, you have the ability to feel that energy within you. And then what are you going to do? Two threes again. 33 again. Queen of Cups can be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Trying to think, we don't really have anybody on the board other in the major arcana other than Gemini at this moment. Let's see where she's heading to. It's like this queen, and by the way, I feel like you're all people in this reading, unless, like I feel otherwise. So I do feel like for many of you, you are this queen, male or female again. But she feels like she's heading somewhere, like she's accepting this sign, this epiphany, and I feel like now she's moving towards something. Let's follow her. Where are you going, queen? Knight of Pentacles. Well, that's your guardian angel. And the Knight of Pentacles, one of the Knight's lessons is patience. All things in their right time, not before, not after. And many times I feel like this Knight is really waiting on us to come to a certain energy, come to a certain awareness. And it's interesting because it's coming over the energy of patience and planning. Then this Knight promises to bring in the Ace of Pentacles. This pentacle is meant to enhance your life. This is energy, my God, you can trust. You know what I mean? Like you can really trust. Now, maybe sometimes it doesn't show up when I want it to show up, but maybe it's because I'm not quite ready for it. It shows up in the right time. And that's that. I mean, that's just that. We have the Page of Wands. I'm very happy to see the Page of Wands coming over the Ace of Wands because I feel like, I often call this page my Fool. And those who follow me have been following me for a while. You're probably tired of me saying that. But I do. I feel like, and why do I call this page my Fool? Because I feel like this page is a page that takes chances. And not all these chances work out. But then I take another chance. Now, I don't mean like in the same thing, but sometimes like I may hear a no, but I'm not going to accept that no, right? I may hear another no, and I'm going to keep going until I finally hear a yes. So this is someone who's learning, um, well, even learning, I don't know. I feel like I feel like the only thing with the Page of Wands is, once they become really grounded within something, I feel like they can create true fire, you know, and coming right over the Ace of Wands. This Ace of Wands is activating her heart chakra. This here is activating, um, um, oh, I just forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, I feel like there's different chakras being activated. I feel like part of you, oh, look at that, judgment again. But I feel like this Knight of Pentacles is looking right back at this Queen of Cups. And I feel like because the Queen of Cups is over the energy of awareness and she's followed by the Empress. So again, I'm learning how to use my energy to really create the type of life that I really want. Again, I may have sacrificed a big part of my life for others, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes, especially of those, who are raising kids and what have you. But I feel like this is now about you. Even if you're still raising kids, maybe your kids are older now. Um, but anyways, I feel like this night looking right back at this queen, it does feel like this queen, if we think about the Queen of Cups, this is someone who, as it relates to love, this is someone who enjoys being in a relationship. This is someone who, having that partner, like I'm out and about, and then something happens, you know, um, I enjoy having that special person that I would call. Like, who would I call? You know? So, but I also feel like this is saying because many of you are coming to a place where you are not allowing the past heartache to harden your heart any longer. You're starting to understand that you do have to keep your heart open. Now, don't forget, the Empress is also very powerful. She is, she trusts energy, and that's what she uses as her protection if we need to protect ourselves. Like if something is coming towards her that is of a negative nature, she's going to know it. She's going to feel it. She trusts that. Now we have judgment coming right over the lovers now. Hmm. Could be a rebirth in a relationship. You know, if we look at again the Four of Cups, discontentment and boredom, the Three of Swords, heartache. But if I get lost in that energy of the Four of Cups, and I never trust that's my spiritual discernment as it relates to potentially what's next, or even if it's something old again, it can become new again. That's kind of what this feels like. Like, what once was is coming back around, but I feel like it's coming back around in a different type of way. This is not about accepting anything or anyone that is working against you. I feel quite the opposite. I do feel like this reading is calling for you to allow your inner child to come out and play. You know, like work is good, but play is also good. It's funny because I was watching something the other night and I was just thinking back to my younger years and I was thinking about how, like I'd go out and party um and then get like 2 hours of sleep and then have to go to work. And how did I do that? If I did that now, I'd probably die. Like I couldn't do that. I very seldom drink anymore. Um, but something, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. But anyways, I feel like something is coming back around. Now, doesn't even have to be something of this lifetime. Let's keep going. It's interesting because the trumpet from Judgment is looking right down into Seven of Cups, almost like saying, if you can't trust in yourself, trust in us. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is called the Juggler's card. I call it using the logical mind card as it relates to making decisions. You know, um, I'm not going to let fear based energy determine what's going to be next in my life or what my life is going to look like next. I'm going to use my logical mind. Let's say a relationship is being reborn. The Empress, Again, if this is someone who's coming towards you who, of course, I don't feel like it would be a negative thing with judgment over it, but let's just say that you worry that it's someone who maybe didn't treat you right. Um, the Empress is going to say, well, we're going to take our time. Again, I'm going to use my logical mind over this, but it's coming over partnerships and alliances right next to the lovers and right next to accelerated motion. I feel like something's happening quickly. I feel like this rebirth wants to take place. Empress is right below this also. So it's interesting because the Empress feels like she's got you covered. Some of you could be relating, like, if you need advice, call your mom. If your mom's no longer with you, well, I feel like then your mom is in this reading. All right, let's keep going. That didn't take long. Wow. Interesting because I said in this card that she's looking up at the stars, but one in particular. This is also the energy of what I think about, I bring about. And then how interesting that now the star comes out over it. This is about your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. It is a card of Aquarius. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Judgment is saying that you have the ability to have this rebirth in your life, but we're going to put the ball in your court, that we're going to give you the inspiration. It's almost like they're showing you the way, but you're the one who has to follow. And then, hello, lovers, again. How interesting that here's the lovers and judgment comes over it. Now we have judgment, and now the lovers come over it. And sacrifice got knocked out of the picture. How interesting. You don't think your spiritual team is involved within this energy? I think you need to think again. Wow. This is a rebirth of, I feel like, a relationship. And again, it doesn't even have to mean this is someone that I already know. It just may say that, if you want love in your life, you want that special partner, that you yourself need to be ready for it, right? Like, you need to be involved in the world. Some of you, I feel like, it's like you're taking this class, maybe you're going and you're learning how to dance. I feel like there's a million different things, but I feel like you are making like this physical, like you're making this decision to do something, and then I don't know, I have a feeling that lo and behold, you may meet someone. And again, the lovers out twice. Judgment connected to both of them. This is not the first lifetime. That's what it feels like to me. This is not the first lifetime that these lovers have been together. Now, that doesn't guarantee anything, right? Because again, we're born with amnesia. But as maybe I meet this person, there's something different. It just feels different. I feel like your spiritual team really wants these two people together. Someone made a comment that, that us tarot readers talk about love like it's so easy to overcome past heartache. And no way do I think that. I use my own experiences. Like, I've had my heart broken. I've bawled my eyes out, you know what I mean? In many different formats. But I do know that we can get stuck in it. And, if we think of ourselves as a spiritual being that's having these human experiences. Can we overcome it? We can overcome it. Doesn't mean that everything will look, the way we want it to look, but just maybe, it'll be better. Just maybe. All right, keep going. We have the tower. Okay. That tells me where your head's at because it's coming over the seven of cups. So I feel like this is a message from your guide saying, don't allow these previous towers. Again, things that just didn't turn out right, unexpected energy that feels like destruction, that type of thing. But it is prior energy, and it's playing a part in the decisions that you're making. And that may be why the Four of Cups again, discontentment and boredom is here. Because I do have to I have to look at myself. I have to look at my life. Judgment is all about being truthful with oneself. And when you're really truthful with yourself, I do feel like new doors start to open up, right? Like the towers really ultimately become your strength. And I know if you're going through a tower, you're like, well, that's just bullshit, Sandy. But your spiritual team is like very clearly saying that it's not bullshit. And that these previous towers, the Empress is being mirrored by the towers. So she is someone who has learned from the towers. Someone is falling from grace in that tower, probably caused the Three of Swords, right? Probably has put my life on hold type of thing. And if I can't figure a way out, I feel like, well, maybe doing something of a creative nature, taking a class. I don't know. I keep getting that. Like, I'm doing something that, like I want to learn how to play guitar. And I keep saying that. But, I think today is the day I'm going to begin. I'm going to look on YouTube and find someone who teaches guitar. Um, and then learn it. But I feel like the reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like that is how, for some of you, this energy of the lovers is coming about. You can deny it if you'd like, but judgment being connected to both of the lovers. And judgment is pointing out that the towers, previous towers, are what's making it hard for you to make a decision about the present moving forward. The Star card coming over the Eight of Wands, if you think about what I think about, I bring about, or another way of thinking about that is the law of attraction, right? The vibration I put out there is the vibration that's going to meet me back. And sometimes that might be why the Knight of Pentacles is like, well, that's not the right time for me to come in. I just want you to be a little more proactive in your own life. And that just may simply mean if there's a decision that needs to be made, so that change, even if it's just a step forward, I feel like your guides are going to help you with the rest. So these towers that are previous in your life are affecting the decision making of your present. Be truthful with that. Now, I know that's not everyone, but the truth is like being called to the forefront. All right, let's keep going. I feel like I'm lecturing you, and I in no way mean to lecture you. I just want you to see it. You know what I mean? I love you guys so much that I want you to see the opportunities. And I know when you're again in the tower in the Three of Swords, it's hard to believe, but I have to tell you, my own life can be a roadmap of towers and then rebirths, towers and then another rebirth. And I could have said no, right? Like when Sam called me in 2000, I think it was 2013 or 14, I can't remember now. Um, I could have just hung that phone up and not continued a conversation, but I chose to continue forward. And by the way, I had just broken up with someone 2 weeks prior to that. And the day that he called me, I was feeling very, very lonely. And then out of the blue, my boyfriend from 40 years ago just makes a phone call. Do you think my spiritual team was part of that? Absolutely, because now we're living together. That is why I say that prior heartache can be overcome. Even losing our loved ones, because I do feel like there's my son's birthday. I know that he's active in my life, just on a spiritual level. Our mothers. I feel like many of us have mothers in spirit, and I feel like the same thing. Like if your mother's alive, ask for her advice. If your mother's crossed over, ask for her advice. All right, let's keep going. Oh my, look at that hangman in the awakened state. Hello. Um, wow. It's just like having an awakening. For some of you, I feel like this reading is going to help you have an awakening. And I'm not putting the credit on me, I'm putting the credit on the guy, our guides. It's like the trumpet of judgment is being heard. Not only heard, but now coming over the Empress. That's kind of beautiful. Huh. And then the world. The next chapter. Taurus. This reading just feels like it is flowing so beautifully. I feel like it's covering all aspects of your life, not just love. But my God, it is covering love. And I feel like, again, that Three of Swords. Well, it may be talking about someone of your past because we do have the Six of Cups. But this is someone you would have happy memories of, not horrible memories of. Now, it is talking about a rebirth. Now, I know it's also talking about a rebirth in love, but for some of you, I feel like it doesn't even mean in like that we know each other in this lifetime. I mean, we know each other um, on a spiritual level, but we may be coming together in the most unexpected way. The star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, is mirrored by the Page of Wands, taking a chance, coming over the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Wands, passion ignited right next to the lovers, with judgment over both the lovers. I mean, your spiritual team is connected to your love life. Lovers is ahead of a hard decision. We opened up this reading with you making a decision. Listen, don't think that your dreams can't come true. Just understand that they may be different than what you expect, but I feel like better. Especially with your guardian angel here. It's like your guardian angel saying, I'm going to bring one of these dreams to fruition, maybe more than one. Because I just don't want to make this about love because it's also talking about your creative house and taking chances on, again, going back to school or doing something you've always wanted to do, but maybe you haven't had the opportunity. Maybe again, you had to sacrifice that because you had other priorities at that time. Well, this is bringing it back to you. The world, the most spiritual time in my life. Why? Because I've learned so much from my life, from my experiences. I feel like the world doesn't really, it's much like the chariot. It doesn't come until you're ready for it. And by the way, what's it mirroring? The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. The next chapter. Why is this next chapter opening? Because you're having an awakening. You know, if nothing else, you're understanding that the power you have within yourself. And I know sometimes we feel very weak. And that's the time when maybe we need to pray more than ever. But I feel like your prayers are being answered. The world is mirrored by the lovers. I mean, should I not tell you that? I only say that because some people are like, Sandy, why do you always talk about love? I don't know. It's just what wants to come out. But don't forget the rest of the reading, right? Because it's not just talking about love. It's giving you advice on how you can overcome what these previous towers were. It's pointing out to you that for some of you, you're making your decisions based on these prior decisions. Now that are these prior towers. I mean, that's okay saying, I don't want to repeat them. Well, then that's where I need to learn from them, right? What made that tower show up? You know, what did that tower do? You know, I feel like there's towers in my life that I can now look back and be like, thank God that tower came in because I didn't have the power. Like I felt powerless to make the change myself, even though I wanted it. And then boom, the tower shows up and it's like it forced me to make a change. But then the beauty that opened up afterwards, the hangman in the awakened state over the empress, then the world, the next chapter, mirrored by the lovers. Like I could just go on and on and on. All right. I feel like let's look at a couple things. Though, my God, does this feel clear? But let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like I want to just see if there's anything else this knight is asking of. Because remember, this knight comes at the right time. Not before, not after. And what that means is this knight, again, wants to bring you a pentacle. And this pentacle is really meant to enhance your life. But let's say you're still in that Four of Cups energy. Your back is to the world. You know, you're just like, nah, I'm not going to do nothing. Well, that doesn't feel like the right time, right? It just doesn't feel like the right time because if I, here's this knight brings in that seed, but I keep my head down and I do nothing with it, well, it's just going to dry up and die. Some of you, your creative houses are really being activated. And for many different reasons. You know, some of you, this night is bringing a dream come true for many different reasons. All right. Anyway, now I feel like I don't even need to clarify, but let's just go ahead. Six of Pentacles. All right, well, Six of Pentacles. Let's talk about this for a second because this can certainly talk about, first of all, it's the fine art of give and take. It's a compassionate type energy. It is an empathetic type energy. It is the energy where I naturally, and I feel like a lot of you just naturally have this in you, I want to help the underdog. But it's also the energy of learning that, maybe I just gave and gave and gave and gave and didn't receive back. Well, that was what caused the Three of Swords, right? Or it can be the opposite. I was a taker and I took and took and took and took and didn't give maybe what was fair. Well, that may be a lesson, right? Don't judge yourself on that. It just may be like, okay, well, that's why the tower came. Maybe someone's like, well, I can't stay in that energy, just as you wouldn't stay in that energy. But the Six of Pentacles is that um, finding that balance, right? Finding that balance of receiving and giving. And by the way, it's a six, and it's connected to the 33, the master number again. Okay. But I feel like you must have come to this balance, or you're about to come to this balance or the realization of it. And that's when the night is coming in. All right, I gotta look at judgment and the lovers and judgment. Even though, I don't know, like, I just don't know it could be any clearer. Some of you, I love the image in this card because I feel like it does talk about, if you look at the two people here, it's like this woman's responding to the energy of someone who's really not there, right? At least physically, but she's still feeling their energy. And this is a great example of, a special type of love, like soulmate, twin flame, what have you. Not free will. This is beyond that. This is the seed soul of intention of these lovers coming together. When? At the right time. And I do feel like some of us, we don't receive the great love of our life until a little later in life. Why? Well, because the experiences of, going through heartache, being bold enough to make changes where changes are needed, all of that becomes our wisdom. And then that feels like the right time. So, anyways, why did I just stop? Tell me more, tell me more. Knight of Wands. Passion. This is a fast moving knight. And this knight is bringing something desirable towards you. Like you can't deny it. You'll feel it. Especially with the Ace of Wands here. You're going to feel it. That may be why this person in the lovers, like, where I'm feeling like one is not present yet, though I feel their energy. Well, hello. Knight of Wands would be the perfect knight for that. Desirable. Almost like, I don't know, I get this feeling like once it comes together, it's almost like we can't keep our hands off each other. I mean that in a good way. All right, let's keep following that a little bit further. Three cups, a reason to celebrate. This is the energy of joy. And you gotta allow yourself to experience the joy of it, not the fear factor. Because again, now the Three Cups is coming over the Tower and the Seven of Cups where I have to choose this cup. I don't have to choose a cup. I don't have to. I can stay right in that Four of Cups. I can stay in discontentment. I can stay bored within my life. Or I can be bold. I can take on the energy of the Page of Wands. I can become the Fool's energy and take a leap of faith. I can believe in dreams again. Why can't they happen for me? I've made sacrifices for others. Now it's time for you to receive your blessing. I hope, I hope and pray that you say yes. And I hope and pray that you hear this reading with your spiritual ears. All right. Six of Wands. It's the energy of victory. And then, hello, two sixes. Coming over the lovers, right? Which are sixes. So Six of Swords. I feel like this is you making a change. Because if we think about the Six of Swords, this means someone is leaving toxic energy. I'm leaving it to the past. right? I'm not going to carry it in my future. It's so close to the tower, but if you ask yourself, can I change my life? Can I change my world? And listen, maybe it is step by step by step. Maybe it starts with me, and I'm just using this as an example, going back to school, taking a class, you know, doing something like outside of my norm. Some of you, it can be like these talents that you have within you that have been dormant because maybe they had to be. I've been busy taking care of others. Again, if we can trust in the Knight of Pentacles who says, I bring this in, this pentacle, this meant again to enhance your life in the right time. So, what does that mean? Well, what did prayer say? Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. This all feels like real solutions here, guys. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I just want to leave it there. Like, I don't know how it gets any better. Again, I feel like our very last card, the Six of Swords, is showing me that we have that ability. And by the way, it's under the awakening of this hangman. When the hangman's really in the upright, the hangman's seeking wisdom. He's seeking wisdom on his next steps within this physical plane. But this hangman now is in the awakened state. So now I'm receiving that wisdom and then movement right over it. So if anything's been toxic to you, someone's been toxic to you, or your own thoughts have been toxic, I just got to look at it. I got to be truthful with myself. I feel like that's where it all starts. Truth, movement, but even if it's just a baby step, movement forward is all to asking for. And I feel like the rest is just gonna happen, right? Stay involved in your dreams. Like, don't give up your hopes and your wishes. Go after them. Even if, again, I don't even know what that is yet, Sandy. I don't know. Try different things. I feel like your mind, like, will be piqued. Like your interest will be piqued, and then just follow that little nugget. It's like with tarot. That's how I started. Like I knew nothing about tarot, but something just piqued my interest, and next thing I know, well, here I am, years and years and years later, reading tarot. And I'm saying reading tarot, but really I feel like I'm a storyteller. I'm telling your story through the eyes of spirit. So let's go ahead and read prayer because boy, do I feel this card's important. Prayer. All right. Prayer is right next to present moment, by the way. Judgment is all about getting your energy in the present moment. And again, we went from the 7 universal year to the 8 universal year. So this may talk about like clearing up those final little things like understanding I'm not going to stay in an energy where I'm really discontent anyways. I'm going to take a chance on me. And then 2024, like everything feels like it's just going to open up. All right, let's read prayer. This card reminds you of prayer's powerful and positive effect and asks you to apply it to your present situation. This is especially true if you feel stuck, confused, powerless, or in any pain. Surrender these feelings to heaven and ask for divine intervention. Then listen carefully for God's messengers, the angels, who deliver his guidance to you in the forms of feelings, signs, ideas, visions, and dreams. No wonder I was talking about dreams in the beginning. When you worry about a situation, you actually draw to you more negativity and feelings of paralyzing victimhood. So, worrying gives you more things to worry about, In contrast, when you pray, you draw upon the most powerful force in the universe. Mother Mary reminds you to turn worries into prayers by saying, God, please help me with, and then pouring your heart out about your cares and concerns. You'll notice an emotional release upon praying as you shift from fear to faith. Well, faith, the Hierophant, that's your major arcana, your belief system. You know, if it's not strong, you're not strong. So it may just mean getting back to you. I mean, I really want you to think about that. The Hierophant is your major arcana. For some of you, look it up. What does that mean? It's definitely talking about your belief system and believing in universal energy and divine energy. Very active in this reading. Taurus, I feel like this is one of the best readings I've done for you. And I say this all the time, but I feel it so clearly. I feel it so clearly. And I have to tell you, I've lived it. And maybe that's why I'm feeling it so clearly. And I want to point out that my son's birthday is right there also. So for many of you, it's talking about your own spirit guides. And, again, I hope some of you go back and listen to Leo's reading. You only have to listen to the beginning and listen to the story of how this guitar made its way to me. It is quite amazing. Truly amazing. I'm rock solid as it relates to our spirit guides. I'm rock solid in the belief that we're guided. I'm rock solid within the belief that our angels, your angels need your request to be involved in your life. Spirit guides are always sending you signs. I just need to be open to that. I need to see them. And the more you see them, the more you recognize them, and the more you say, okay, I get it. That was a sign. I swear, the more signs you're going to see over and over again. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I loved it. I hope you, again, use your spiritual ears. And for those who maybe are still a little stuck, come back and revisit this reading as your energy starts to change. Here's the world, the next chapter. It includes your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. It includes love, but it also includes your creative soul and bringing that to life. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I love you guys. I will, I'm grateful for every single thing you do for me. If it wasn't for all of you, I would not have a computer right now, and my YouTube career would be done. So your donations, are everything, and I am eternally grateful, truly. And it really helped me, though I already knew this, but it gave me concrete evidence that I was meant to do exactly what I'm doing. So thank you. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. Thank you for those who've been with me. Thank you for sharing the video. You never know who you're going to help. Thank you for helping to support each other in the comment section. We did lives the other day, and what I love most, even though I love doing the readings by the way, if you're interested in live readings, though I'm going to go live for everyone, I do go live once a week with my members, and they can truly ask anything. And I'm telling you, our answers are very, very clear. But I went live for everyone. When? What day was it? Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. And I so thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for those who showed up. And if you missed it, I'll try to do it again. But I do have the membership program, just so you know. But anyway, thank you guys. I love you. I'm trying to think, what am I going to name this reading? I put a lot of thought into the title and your thumbnail. I want it to tell you the story also. Sometimes that's hard to do with limited words, but how do I get, how do I relate the beauty to you? Like within so many words, I'll figure it out. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.